What's going on, guys? So today, this morning, my landscapers are outside. I'm sure they're gonna make noise, but I gotta get this done. So I have other stuff to do. But start off, what am I trying to do here, right? What am I trying to pass on to you guys? And it seems like, I'm not pushing this for likes or clicks, or I give a shit about any stuff. I'm here to try and get data to the people who need to know something at the moment that they're making decisions with respect to their real estate business. And my goal is to lead investors strategically to use banks' money and strategic relationships to build compounding real estate portfolios and protect their generational wealth. Period. That's it. Let's build it all up. Let's leverage it, and then let's make sure we have all the proper structure to protect it and pass it on. And here comes the guys right here with the leaf blower. And he is spending a lot of time in the one spot that's blocking things. So maybe we'll cut this out. Maybe we'll just keep going. So I think we're just going to keep going, working things out here. So what has happened this last week? That's always a big question. What's going on last week? Well, we look at the mortgage-backed securities because that's what drives our interest rates. They've improved over the last week. And what's the main drivers? War and peace headlines around Iran. So we got Mortgage News Daily, which is where you can go and take a look at this and see what's happening. Their simple rule was escalation or delay in peace talks. That's what's driving rates. Not all the other data has come out. There's tons of data coming out, but what's happening in Iran is driving everything. So the optimism of peace is what drives things up. The risk or the fear of continued wars is driving things down. Okay, pause right there. Sorry, but that's how things are working out here. Would like to be able to control them, but they seem to show up at earlier times all the time. But I'm glad they're coming, and that's a very regular thing. So what we have right now is just trying to follow what's happening over there, and what kind of news is coming anyway. The other part of it is are we even getting the right news? Are we getting information that's giving us information that we can't really? Well, let me change that. Are we getting real information? Or are we getting stuff that's being cooked? I don't know about you, but when it comes to the data that's coming out there from the rest of the world, I can't be certain that it's accurate. But we can see the market reacts to it. Now, the market reacts to it, I think, is more telling than what information really given by mainstream. So let's look at what the market's thinking, because there is still a lot of people worrying about the war thing, but market's responding in a way that's making it seem like it's not as bad as it's being said out there. So maybe there's a little bit more happening as far as this peaceful way of things, or at least the ceasefire, and there being less conflict over there. So take a look at what we got going on here. We've been crawling back pretty strong. Now, we're still not back at the point where we were when they started all this. This is where it was when we started all this, way up here, and then all this volatility. And now we're starting to come back, and we're going to be hitting, which is what that level is, which is the value of the security the day they announce quantitative easing. That's now going to be a ceiling going to be up against. Now, I'm going to zoom in on this. We're only a few basis points away, 4 basis points away from that ceiling. Now, is it going to be a barrier that keeps us below that, like it's done in the past? You see this barrier here. Here's the barrier below that we would hit against it and back off of it. So that's the barriers in the past. Or are we going to go back up to the top, which we had done before? We hit the top before and go right back down. So that's a possibility. That's a barrier that we're going to hit, come back off of it. If we get above it, this is where our next barrier is. We have barriers in the middle, but these are our main ones. So that's what we see for right now. Everybody's looking positive, but I think we do have that barrier, and we might be just kind of in that solid locked position for right now, because we have a very, very strong ceiling above where we are, 4 basis points away from our current position. My thought process is, unless we have really significant news come from the area of Iran, that this might be our ceiling. So that's just my thought. I don't know if it's going to be accurate, because we have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. Things switch on the dime when it comes to what's happening in Iran. The news that comes out, it influences the market for a moment until they absorb what's really happening, and then they'll start trading accordingly. But right now, that might be our peak, but we'll see. We'll find out what Tuesday brings us. Appreciate you guys.